Hello, dear listeners. Welcome back to Timeless Romance Tales. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more forbidden attraction, dangerous secrets, and aristocratic romances where loyalty is tested and love refuses to be denied. Now let's begin. The letter arrived sealed in red wax and expectation. Clara Whitfield held it between her fingers longer than necessary, already aware that whatever waited inside would change the direction of her life. Letters from her aunt never arrived without consequence. They were not invitations. They were instructions. She broke the seal. You will travel to Ashbourne Hall at once. You will observe the Viscount closely, and you will discover where his loyalty truly lies. Clara exhaled slowly. Viscount Rowan Hale, the Crown's most celebrated strategist. A widower, untouchable in reputation, impeccable in public, and rumored to be dangerously loyal to no one but himself, which was precisely why he had become a problem. Her aunt believed Hale was quietly aligning himself with rival interests, smiling through dinners, offering strategic counsel, and withholding his true intentions until the right moment. Proof was needed. Discretion was required. And Clara, unmarried, well-bred, and forgettable enough to be overlooked, was the perfect instrument. Test him, her aunt had said when they last met. Charm him. Distract him. See if he falters. And if he does? Clara had asked. Her aunt had smiled thinly. Then we will know exactly how to deal with him. Now, as the carriage rolled toward Ashbourne Hall, Clara wondered if loyalty could truly be measured by temptation, or if she was about to become collateral in a game she did not control. Ashbourne Hall rose from the countryside with quiet authority. Stone walls, tall windows, order without ornament. A house that did not seek admiration, only obedience. Clara was announced as a distant cousin of a mutual acquaintance, invited to stay while her family estate underwent repairs. It was a lie smooth enough to pass inspection. The Viscount met her in the entry hall. Rowan Hale was taller than she expected, dark-haired, composed, dressed simply for a man of his rank. His expression was polite but unreadable, his gaze sharp in a way that made her suddenly aware of her posture, her breath, her every movement. "Miss Whitfield," he said evenly. "Welcome to Ashbourne." "Thank you for receiving me, my lord," she replied, dipping into a practiced curtsy. "You are welcome to stay as long as necessary," he said. "I trust the accommodations will suit." "I'm certain they will." He studied her for a moment longer than politeness required. "You dislike storms," he observed. She blinked. "I beg your pardon?" "You flinched when the thunder sounded," he said calmly. "It suggests familiarity with discomfort." Her pulse quickened, not from fear, but from surprise. "Yes," she said carefully. "I suppose I do." "Then you will find this house quiet," he replied. "Predictable." Predictable was not the word Clara would have chosen. From the first evening, she understood that Rowan Hale was not a man easily distracted. He did not linger in her presence unnecessarily, did not offer flattery, did not look at her as men usually did when they thought themselves unseen. Instead, he listened. At dinner, when she commented on trade routes, he asked where she'd learned of them. When she mentioned politics, he challenged her gently, curious rather than dismissive. "You have opinions," he said one evening. "Many women pretend otherwise." "I find pretending exhausting," Clara replied. A pause. Then, faintly, he smiled. She wrote to her aunt weakly. "He is composed. He is careful. He has not yet revealed disloyalty." The replies came swiftly. "Try harder." So Clara did. She sat closer by the fire, asked questions meant to provoke, mentioned names she knew were dangerous to repeat aloud. Rowan never reacted. Until one night, when she said casually, "Some believe loyalty is a weakness, that it blinds men to opportunity." He looked at her then, really looked. "Those people," he said quietly, "have never stood for something worth losing everything for." Her breath caught. "That sounds personal," she said. "It is," he replied. The conversation ended there, but the air between them shifted. Days passed, then weeks. Clara began to notice the ways Rowan protected his household, how he dismissed servants who spoke carelessly, how he corrected rumors without ever addressing them directly, how his attention sharpened when unfamiliar guests appeared. "You don't trust easily," she said one afternoon as they walked the gardens. "I trust evidence," he replied. "And people? I trust consistency." She hesitated. "And me?" He stopped walking. "You ask that as if you want the answer to matter," he said. Her heart thudded. "Don't ye?" His gaze softened, not with desire, but with something more unsettling. "Yes," he said. "You do." That night, Clara could not sleep. This was not how the test was meant to go. She was supposed to expose him, not understand him. To tempt him into betrayal, not feel the slow pull of admiration where manipulation should have lived. The next letter from her aunt was sharper. "We have reason to believe Hale is meeting privately with Crown opponents. If he is disloyal, he will reveal himself soon. Be ready." The meeting took place 3 nights later. Clara observed from the gallery as Rowan welcomed 2 men whose names she recognized instantly. Men her aunt had warned her about. Men whose allegiance was questionable at best. She watched Rowan pour wine. Smile politely. Speak with measured calm. Rowan Hale, Viscount of Ashbourne, had chosen a woman with no title and questionable connections as his intended. Clara's aunt sent 3 letters. Rowan burned them all. Their engagement was not performative. It was deliberate. In the weeks that followed, Clara learned what it meant to be trusted. Rowan consulted her, valued her counsel, defended her without spectacle. One night, as they sat together in silence, Clara said softly, "I was meant to break your loyalty." He turned to her. "Instead, you proved it." She smiled faintly. "I didn't plan to fall in love with you. I didn't plan to be tested," he replied. "Yet here we are." He kissed her then, not with urgency but with certainty. Not claiming, choosing. Love did not arrive like fire. It arrived like recognition. Like standing beside someone and realizing the world could not move you if they stood firm. Clara had been sent to test his loyalty. Instead, she became the reason it never wavered. And Rowan Hale, once feared for his distance, was finally known for the one woman he chose, and never let go. The days after the announcement were not quiet. They were measured. Ashbourne Hall received visitors who came not to congratulate, but to assess. Men who lingered too long in the doorway. Women who smiled too brightly while counting Clara's worth in silence. Rowan met every one of them with the same calm authority. Present, unyielding, unimpressed. Clara watched him closely. Not as a test this time. As a woman learning the weight of the man who had chosen her. One afternoon, after a particularly tense luncheon, she found him alone in the study, removing his gloves with deliberate care. "They were trying to intimidate you," she said softly. "They were trying to intimidate you," he corrected. "I am immune to it." She stepped closer. "And me." His gaze lifted to hers. "You are not." Her stomach tightened. "Then why put me in front of them?" "Because," he said evenly, "hiding you would make you vulnerable. Standing beside me makes you untouchable." She absorbed that slowly. "You think several moves ahead," she murmured. "I have to," he replied. "The world is rarely kind to what it cannot control." That night, Clara lay awake thinking about how easily her life could have gone differently. How close she had come to leaving Ashbourne Hall with a letter in her pocket and a lie on her tongue. She rose quietly and padded down the corridor, stopping outside Rowan's door. Her knock was tentative. "Yes," he called. She entered to find him seated by the window, papers spread across his desk, candlelight casting shadows across his face. "I couldn't sleep," she admitted. "Neither could I," he said. "Come here." She did. Not summoned. Invited. She sat opposite him, close enough now to see the faint tension he never quite allowed to show in public. "You don't regret this," she said. It wasn't a question. "No," he replied without hesitation. "But it has complicated things." "Yes. And yet," he said, leaning back slightly, "I would choose the same outcome every time." Her breath caught. "That sounds dangerously like certainty." "It is," he said. "I do not offer half measures." Silence settled between them. Not heavy, not strained. Intimate. "Why me?" she asked finally. "Truly." He studied her, as if weighing honesty against restraint, then chose the former. Because you could have destroyed me, he said. And you didn't. You chose truth over advantage, loyalty over instruction. She swallowed. I was afraid. So was I, he admitted quietly. But fear does not excuse betrayal. Her voice softened. You never doubted me. I doubted your position, he said. Never your character. Something in her chest loosened. In the weeks that followed, Clara's presence at Rowan's side became expected rather than questioned. She learned how power moved, not loudly but subtly. A word here, a silence there. Rowan included her in discussions not out of obligation, but because he valued her insight. One evening, after a long discussion with Crown envoys, Rowan dismissed everyone but her. You see the weakness they missed, he said. She blinked. You noticed. I notice everything, he replied. Especially when it concerns you. She laughed softly. That sounds dangerous. It is, he agreed. For anyone who underestimates you. Their relationship did not change overnight. There were no sudden declarations whispered in dark corners. No urgency that demanded proof. Instead, intimacy deepened in the spaces between moments. In the way Rowan rested his hand at the small of her back when rooms felt crowded. In the way Clara reached for him instinctively when voices grew sharp. In the certainty that neither questioned the other's presence. One night, standing on the terrace beneath a sky heavy with stars, Clara said quietly, If I had obeyed my aunt, if I had written the truth. Rowan's jaw tightened. Then you would not be standing here. And you would still be alone. Yes, he said. She turned to him. Do you resent that I was sent to deceive you? No, he replied. I resent that anyone thought you capable of it. Her eyes burned. I don't want to be a weakness, she said. He stepped closer. You are not my weakness. What am I then? His answer was immediate. You are my proof. Her breath left her slowly. He reached for her then, not in haste, not in demand, but with certainty earned. When he kissed her this time, it was deeper than before. Still restrained, still chosen, but no longer distant. Love did not arrive as something sudden. It revealed itself in moments like this. In trust that did not require reassurance. In loyalty freely given. Clara Whitfield had been sent to test a man's allegiance. Instead, she had found her own. And Rowan Hale, Viscount of Ashbourne, had never been more certain of the woman who stood beside him. Not because she proved his loyalty, but because she chose it.